Hello and welcome to the garden. I am actually in my garden right now. I'm having some coffee and I'm looking at all my beautiful plants and flowers and thinking about this visual I got today while I was meditating on what's wrong with me and what is happening where I have a blockage and I'm really working to get through it so that I can get this work out into the world and I can connect with you all. And this first bit is really hard, just letting go of my discomfort with a whole lot of different things, which I can go into at a later date. So I come out here to my garden and I see that we have these vines that are growing, and they are starting to grow into other things where they will choke things out. They're really lovely on this fence where we have them. And then they grow beyond the fence and they kill other things. And there's another vine over here that's doing the same thing, and it's reaching out for some of the plants that will not survive it. And then there's this sedum, which is a succulent, which grows like crazy and is completely stunning. And if it grows into other things, it will also kill it. And then I'm looking at, just all the balance that's required in a garden. And I got this image this morning while I was meditating on what's wrong with me of that castle. It was like the castle from Sleeping Beauty, where it's overgrown with these thorny vines and it's really choking everything out and everything inside is trapped. And that's kind of what's happening to me. So it's reminding me that everything is balance, and that in seeking balance, we have to do the work. Like right now, I'm looking at these vines and they need to be trimmed back, because if they go too far, they're going to choke out other things. And in balance, they're gorgeous. They're really gorgeous. They're really lovely, and they create just the most beautiful natural green space. And that we can do that work with ourselves too. That even growth can be out of balance if you don't have it coming through and integrating into your 3D life. So right now I've done all sorts of spiritual growth. I've done so much writing. I have so much to share, but it's all stuck inside me. And so it's not in balance. So I could continue to expand and evolve spiritually, but without the outlet for sharing it, for me personally, it's not in balance. And it's getting trapped up, and it's making me kind of sick. I'm getting terrible anxiety in not allowing the flow to flow. So there's a few things I wanted to tell you about today. One is welcome to the garden, and where that phrase came up for me is I was sitting this spring with a whole bunch of seed packets, and I had grand plans for this year in terms of gardening, but a variety of 3D things in my life have made it so that most of those seeds will not come to be plants and live their lives this season. But I do understand too that there will be other seasons and that those seeds will have their chance to grow. But at the beginning of the season, when I was still, very idealistic and thinking that there were no limits to what I could do in 3D, I sat with each and every one of these packets on my porch, and I held them and I tuned in and I said, "Welcome to the garden." And each and every one of them said back to me, "Welcome to the garden." And the exchange of energy was just so deeply beautiful and so lovely. I'm trying to get the proper words for just the wonderful exchange of energy that took place. And maybe you'll be able to get it just from me talking about it, because it was just a moment where I felt the balance of all things, that we plant these plants and we welcome them to our garden, and they welcome us back because this is their home too, and we're sharing it and we're co-creating. And it is done in balance, and it is done with a remarkable respect for the creation force within us all and for the connection that we all share in oneness through this creation force and through all things. So I love gardening. I love just watching these things grow. I love flowers. My garden is like just a chaos of colors. It has no rhyme or reason, but I do tune in every year. And when we go to the garden center, I ask who wants to come home with us and sort of get a good sense of, some of them just jump out and are like, we want to come home with you. And others are, destined for other places. So it's a really neat way to do it. And then when we get home, I just tune in and see where they want to be. And we've had quite a bit of success in allowing that co-creation to take place, and some surprising results in terms of what likes to grow together, where it wants to grow, and just how it all comes together and the joy it brings us. The other aspect of the garden that I wanted to share with you is the visual that I got about the castle and the thorny vines and everything. As I began to transmute that blockage, which is a work in progress, I'm not saying that this is a very, very long-term, seemingly slow-moving, but it's moving at its own organic pace as I transmute it. So it's not an instantaneous, oh, here you go, here's the problem, here's the solution, here you go, move on. It's not like that. It's been a very long process of transmutation and allowing the flow to flow the way it will. I got the visual of the castle and the thorny vines transmuted into a vision of a cottage with this beautiful garden that is both filled with flowers and herbs and food, and this place that is very nourishing and very much in balance. And I realized that that's what I'm working to create here, is this place where we can sit together. You can rest, you can receive nourishment, you can tune in, you can get the messages that the garden is providing for you, and then you can go on down your own path and utilize the energy that you pick up from this space in your own life and find your own guidance and your own growth through that. So in welcoming you to the garden, I'm just encouraging you to find your own sense of peace, find your own sense of balance, and find your own sense of nourishment. What brings you joy? What makes you feel whole? What makes you feel like you can go forward down that path and you can do the work that you're here to do? So I'm really looking forward to this. I feel an opening now that I haven't felt in a long time, and so I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to share the journey with you all. And so I must say too, if you're interested, I do offer private readings. You can go to my website, which is www.thedevicconnection.com, and that's Devic, D-E-V-I-C. And you can, there's all sorts of resources and information there. I'm working constantly to provide more exercises and visualizations you can utilize to continue your own spiritual growth. And also there's a schedule a reading page where you can contact me if you'd like to work with me one-on-one. The way that I work is that I tune in to the light, which is my own soul's connection to source. And through that connection, you can ask anything you want, and I'll tell you what I hear, see, or sense. It's really that simple. So it's a wonderful, wonderful journey that we're all on. And I'm just really looking forward to being able to open up and share some of what I've been through and learn more about what you've been through and get that energy flowing for all of us. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening to this.